paragraph rather. Anthony, thank you.
Speed is the distance of an object moves in a certain period of time. You use both distance and time to find speed. This skater moves fast. She moves a long distance in a short time.
Okay. Any important information that we should highlight in that? Yes.
Again, the first sentence.
Again, the first sentence. So do you see a pattern here, Ava?
Yeah, whichever word is bolded, the words, like the sentence after that is important.
Is important and seems to be the definition of the bolded word. Do you agree? Okay.
And do you just bracket the text again to put?
Well, let's go and read each word because although these next sentences may not be deemed as the important, they may be key details that we would want to use to formulate our main idea and then summary, okay? So you use both distance and time to find speed. Do we think that's important or interesting? Let me read the sentence again for you.
That's important.
You use both distance and time to find speed.
I think it's a mixture between both.
You think it's a mixture of both? Okay. So do you think I would need to know that information to explain how we find speed?
Yeah.
Yes, okay. So I think that we should highlight that, okay? And code it as important. So the next sentence says, this skater moves fast. So that sentence is referring to what on the page? This skater is moving fast. The picture. So do we think that's important or interesting?
Interesting.
Interesting. Okay, let's wait to bracket until we read the next sentence. She moves a long distance in a short time. Interesting or important? Interesting, okay?
So I'll
So.
put the bracket.
Okay, I think we're gonna stop there and go back to that first page and let's start writing down some of the key details and create the main idea to then create a summary. So take your paper, fold it into 4 parts. So who can remind the group of how we use this graphic organizer? Ava, I think you need to refold it, honey, like this. That's okay. I got another piece for you. No problem.
Let's get straight. This
Yes,
and
exactly. So kind of like an accordion fold. Can I call?
then leave it.
And then so fold it in half, and then fold that half in half. There you go. Make sure we have the holes on the left side so that we're writing on the front part of the paper.
Name?
Yes, absolutely. Put your name on top. So again, who can remind the group of how we're using this this graphic organizer? Do you remember how Miss Littleson taught you how to use this, or do we? Yes.
Main idea is the first one.
Okay.
Detail, and another detail.
Okay. Detail. So let's write.
Date.
It is the 26th. Okay, the 26th. So to the side on each of these, we're gonna write MI for what? What is
idea.
very good. KD for what? Key detail. So you're gonna label them with the abbreviations. MI is the first part. KD, KD, KD.
Wait, how do we do it?
Just like this. You need some help, buddy? So for main idea, I know that Miss Littleson has showed you this picture. Main idea is kind of, we can liken it to a table. And the table has how many legs? 4. If the table does not have 4 legs, can it stand up? No. Okay. Maybe. So when you build a table, actually, you always start with creating the legs so that you can then put the tabletop on top. So it's kind of the same idea with main idea. I like to start with the key details first. So before we go to the key details, we need to just talk about our topic. What is our topic for the 2 pages that we just read? Motion. Okay. Let's write at the top, write the word topic, colon, motion. Colon is the double dots. The double
I like
dots.
those things. Yep.
All right. So we know motion is our topic. Let's see what kind of key details we were able to code in the passage about motion. What do you think? Take a look. What are the key details?
Like the important ones?
Yeah.
Well, think about it kind of like your legs to explain motion. Does that make sense? So
And the
motion is our...
tabletop is motion.
Yeah, yes. We're going to have a little bit more of a detailed explanation of motion. That's our main idea. But think about how would you explain motion? How would you, based on what we just read, how would you create the legs to explain motion?
I would put down the stuff we highlighted.
Okay, so talk to me about the first thing, the first key detail.
Motion is the table position, so
Okay, so that's the, we agree that
definition.
that's the definition of motion. So do we want to start with that?
No, we can put it after.
Okay.
Like, puts in facts about motion.
After we create the key details. Yeah, we did. Okay, I agree. That's important information, but we're just going to put it to the side. So looking at the second page that we looked at, Jacob Wilson, what's one key detail on this page that has to do with explaining motion?
Distance is how far one place is from another.
Distance is how far one place is from another. So we're going to need to write that down as our first key detail. Very good. Very good, thank you. So if we look at the, go back and look at the text, we've written down the highlighted part as one of our key details, okay? So I want to go back and revisit the sentences that we initially labeled as interesting, okay? And I want to see what you think about those sentences and see if you still agree that all of those sentences are interesting or they may be something that goes along or supports our definition with distance. What do you think?
I don't think the second sentence.
The second
Yeah,
sentence, okay?
yeah.
Can you read that for us, Anthony, that second sentence?
Distance is often measured in inches, yards, and miles.
I completely agree. So this is what's going to happen for you when you're reading by yourself and using this strategy. Always know that you can go back and think, you know, I thought initially that was something interesting that was written, but I'm going to rethink that. And I think that that's part of the information I should use for my key detail. That's important, okay? So I think that we should write down that information about distance being measured in inches, yards, and miles, okay? So go back, highlight that sentence. In case you need to refer back to the text again. It is.
I can't find my highlighter.
Oh, here's it. So as you're writing, I'm going to talk because I need to kind of conclude the lesson, and I would have you guys go off as a group and finish this graphic organizer. based on the information that we've coded. So you would write down after distance that it's measured in inches, yards, and miles, okay? So we're not gonna do this right now because we need to, I need to send you back. But if you were going to write down the next key detail, could you just tell me verbally, what do you think that you would write?
We'll write down speed as a distance. An object moves in a certain period of time.
In a certain period of time. Very good. Okay, so what I'm gonna have you do is you will work as a group to fill out the rest of the key details. We will come back and meet together and synthesize the information to try to come up with a main idea in our own words, which is usually the hardest part of this task. Do you agree? Yeah, okay. So I just want you to know that this is something you'll be doing the rest of your academic career, and it is it's something that kind of something in progress that you'll be working on to get better at. So I know a lot of people, including myself when I was younger, this was a strategy or a concept that was kind of hard for me to want to keep doing because it was difficult, okay? So I'm here to support you on that, and you can go ahead and go. Thank you very much.
Here you go.